but they have been talked to before and told, stop, don't do this. As a judge, you should be independent. You shouldn't be influenced by what comes to you by persons who are influential or heavily connected politically. And unfortunately, it continues in the judiciary. It's very, very unfortunate because the judiciary is the last place people go for redress. If you cannot get redress from the judiciary, it means that your human rights will be violated. And if the masses of people's human rights are violated, you know that there is crisis, a security threat. And that is why these things are pointed out. And there are a number of cases, some of them I've heard, a lot of them I haven't heard. And to tell you the truth, the judiciary is like a case of where everybody just seems to be giving up on the judiciary. It's not functioning properly, they're not doing what it's supposed to do. Of course, sometimes the Supreme Court comes up with very, very good rulings, but some cases don't get to reach to the Supreme Court. People get frustrated along the way and they just forget it. If there is a claims commission established in Liberia and you ask people to come forward with their grievances against government, you will see what we are talking about. People get frustrated, they abandon their cases. I'm still in touch with some people, some cases that are left up to this moment. People say, since you are not there, chose not to go to court. People get frustrated with lawyers. They spend, and they get no results. And when they go to court, the matter stays in court for a very long time, and they still spend money, and they still do not get the results they get. So I said, but if you spend money hoping to get a result, maybe the other person on the other side spend more than you. So if you think spending your money will give you the results you want, you should expect the contrary as well. So that is why you spend a lot of money, you didn't get results because the other guy might have spent more. And like you said, I'm a lawyer, I was there. I saw it. We didn't play those rules. And there were cases where the judges had to call me and say, look, your opponent just offered this bribe. I said, so your honor, what do you want me to do? You want me to tap you up and beat my opponent? I said, if that's the case, no. Another judge said, no, I didn't tell you to. That's not why I call you. I call you to assure you that you have won a case from the strength of your argument. And this is why you see, I've not even opened it. I waited for you to come and see it yourself. It's been happening. The lawyers are involved. They begin to corrupt the court before the courts get corrupted because they are all officers. We are all officers of the court. We are supposed to look out for the court. We are supposed to protect the integrity of the courts. But we are the ones to undermine that very integrity. The disgraced Vani Shimon, that was the core principle in his practice by the judge. Every case they participated in, bribery was involved. Almost everybody in the judiciary knew that. And even though I don't know what's happening now, but I'm sure those bad practices are still going on. And if it was mentioned, then you know that it's true and it is current. And it's very, very sad. That's not how we dispense justice. For me, I think it's a sin, to think that you can win a case that way.
Yeah, that's sin. Muna.
Well, Counselor, thank you so much for coming by here and letting us understand everything that we have not been understanding. I have not really followed this report that Pia is reading from, but from what you are saying, can you just can you agree with me that our situation in Liberia is only God that can help us out of it?
I believe in just with a little but, you know, God is doing his best to help us and he can finish it. But we need the willpower to make God plans for our life to come to reality. All of us, we can help the situation. For example, if we as administration wanted help to help govern the country properly, to help make sure that human rights and everything is in order, they could have asked for it if they wanted to. There are people all around, institutions, civil society is very, very active. The US Embassy is there, the EU Embassy is there, the AU is there. All of those institutions are there to help straighten up things, but we are not willing to and we don't want to.
I say this to say, Councillor, that the civil society is compromised, has been compromised. Almost all of our integrated institutions have been compromised. We don't have people who used to stand up and talk and speak to injustice. We don't have them anymore. People are hungry and they sell out for little or nothing. How can we get out of this situation that we are in? Of course, we are going to talk. Of course, we are going to do the necessary. But these people, George Weah and his government officials, they're telling us every day, every hour, every second in and out that they're not going to change. Their action is their action. They're not asking for anybody help. They're not asking for anybody to join them into anything because they want to be left alone to do what they want to do.
Yes.
They want to be left alone. And they're trying to get rid of anybody who will stand up to talk or who got intention to talk. They should just smell or think about your intention. They will get rid of you.
That's true.
So how do you get rid of such a person? We are only humans. For me, these are spiritual times. I see this thing more spiritual than physical. In the physical, we will do what we got to do. Like what we are doing now, we are talking. We are exposing the ills, their ills. But at the end of the day, I see only God bringing we are to that place of bend knees.
I agree.
Because we, in our own strength, cannot do to we are, because God said he set up governments and he bring down governments. Yes. In the Bible, if we believe the Bible, as we say, Nebuchadnezzar, he was the greatest king of all time. At the end of the day, what happened to him? He became an animal and went to the bush to chew grass. We will come to a day one day, and he will see that Liberia is not one of those countries that you can just pray on anyhow. I mean, innocent blood? Are you kidding me? People are dying every day. The civil society you are talking about, Councillor, civil society is not the civil society we had before. One of the women called me. It's good thing that you are here, just concerning this or Glorious Cats or case. And she turned the whole thing around. She said, "Don't you know that the woman killed her own daughter? She was sitting there, and the daughter, and because the other girl was her granddaughter, and the other one was her brother's daughter. So the granddaughter, because the other daughter brought her she was supposed to graduate from high school. The other daughter got jealous and stabbed her, and Glorious Cat got jealous and hit the other girl. I mean, I said, this story is actually coming from you. And the story was just long and endless. And this girl was trying to convince me that was exactly what happened. And I know, and you know, and we who can think straight, we know that was not what happened. So thank you, Councillor. It's just frustrating when we try to talk Liberia business, but we just got to talk it.
Yeah, that's true. And I submit, I mean, we have to depend on God. Like you said, we will talk, we do our part, but in the end, it is God who will move the people to do what has to be done. And you said they are not willing to change, but we have to change the dynamics. We have to change the situation. And that is why I tell people the elections are coming. It is up to the opposition to make sure that there will be no cheating in the elections. You know, and if they cannot work together, they should make sure the polling stations are protected. The results coming from there should reflect the true results of the people. You know, and people should make sure they just vote. I told somebody, they said, "Oh, this agreement in the opposition." I said, "Okay, granted." And it was a big ANC woman I was talking to. I said, "Granted, let all your ANC people vote for Cummings. Let all the UP people vote for Buckeye. Will George Weah be elected still?" I said the campaign should be to tell people to come out and vote against this man. And that's what I do. I tell people to vote for anybody in the opposition. So if everybody vote, definitely he will be denied of the vote and he may not even make the second round, if there will be a second round. And so the opposition has to do its part to make sure the votes are not corrupted. Already his scheme for cheating is in place, you know, and he believes he will cheat. And that's why his bosses have called him and said, "We are aware of your plans to cheat." And yes, it has been exposed to us and we have verified it. It is true. If you cheat, America will not support or accept any government that will cheat. If you come to power by violence, to use the arms to intimidate the people, we will not support any or accept any government that will come to power by arms. So we have to keep talking, and at the same time, we pray. God is the arbiter of everything. He's our beginning and our end. He knows it, and just as you said, Muna, He created institution of government. So when government comes down or government rise, He knows. There's a reason why we have such a situation in our head, and I know we will get out of it. Like I said, the country now is like the third trimester of a pregnancy is about to burst into fruition. But a lot of things will happen before that time. And we're praying that bloodshed will not be part of it because we seem to be heading into a lose-lose situation. George Weah is determined that no matter what, he will stay. And people who oppose him, he wants to use the arms that he has brought. So if he wins, people will object, and he will use arms to quiet him down. And people are saying there's no way he can win. It appears like there's no way he can win. If he loses, he wants to keep himself in power by the arms that he has there. So, Mona, like I say again, I submit. We have to put God in control. Let God lead us, let God strengthen us, let God direct us. But in the meanwhile, we have to do what we can do, you know, and speaking out is part of it and educating our people. I'm sure after you listen to her, you have few words for her. If you didn't do at the time, you can call her back and educate her.
No, I have few words for her, and I told her, I said, I asked her if she was actually listening to herself, if she could believe what she was actually saying. Because I think one little child, if she got a little child, I don't think her little child will even believe what she's saying. That the counselor told her gate man, the security, to go and bust the bathroom window, and so people will say it's an armed robber or something. Why would anybody who take the mantle of activism want to believe that? Why would anybody who have pledged to speak on behalf of the voiceless want to believe that? Why run with such a story when it's even hurting people the more? If you're fear for the counselor life or for whatever reason, let's just keep quiet. No need to run with a story that is nothing but a lie.
Yeah, with the propaganda that came from the CEC under the so-called Sacrament Tree.
That's why, because they want to vindicate Koji and his man, so they have to come up with a story. But you can't use it to run with such a story.
Exactly. Distraction, so we cannot focus on the main thing.
On the main issue.
And the fact that perpetrators were named and they are ignoring that, so they go all into the distraction.
Yes.
And Counselor, I have a question for you. And you know, when you made those clear allegations against those guys at the city hall, one of the things they they talk about was they got a lawyer called Arthur Johnson, who, well, we all know his credentials being in the news about it being fake. He talked about, libel and slander and what have you. Now, in this report, it talks about, it said criminal libel and slander laws were repealed.
Let me take a short break. I got your question. Let me take a short break. I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, and guys, Jupo, you got a question, right?
Yes, I actually have a question for Councillor.
Yeah, we'll let the council, because I sent you that report. I thought you would read it and ask questions based on your own understanding about it.
Jupo, a smart man, 12 man read it, he's supposed to read you, ask a question.
Yeah,
man right there, you say you got question, ask a question. But on a serious note, Stephen, while we are waiting the council, this report is a very serious report because of how tired down everyone can be. I didn't dig deep into it, but I substantively went through it, and everything is a problem in Liberia, even with the media space. And I thought, I don't know what question Jupo would ask. I hope that's where he was reading from, because what has been said about what has been done to you guys who are in the media with regards to violence, harassment, censorship, and all these things that the report is trying to catalog. The councillor is back, Stephen. So continue on your.
Yeah, and Pierre, to that point, they say on June 29th, 2 LMP officers reportedly threatened to shoot reporter Emmanuel Colley and reporter Amos Gasowu of Fortune TV. So it talks about it in that report that even police officers threatened to shoot journalists. But councillor, as I was saying, they about this criminal libel and slander thing. They say the report says criminal libel and slander laws were repealed in 2019. Nonetheless, government officials occasionally use the threat of civil defamation suits to intimidate critics or political opponents.
That is true, and it's because people do not seek proper legal advice. This is not the first time the government threatens to sue. The first time Mr. Koji came up with that nonsense that he would sue, I told one of his agents to go and encourage him to sue. And when he sues, this is what I would do, or this is what we would do. And I listed 30 different counts of suits that will come against the government. Government is a government, and there are laws to protect government institutions. But if you are a government and you volunteer yourself to the jurisdiction of a court to sue an individual or an institution, it means that you have opened yourself to wide suits, and you can be sued as well. And then more than that, if you are a public servant, this is something most lawyers don't know. And I think Arthur Johnson is a fool for saying that he will bring libel actions against me. When you move into the public space, there's a thin line between your privacy and the right of the public to know and speak about you. You surrender a lot of your privacy to the public, so there's no way you can fight or resist. So every time they come up, I tell the people, go and tell them to sue. Even now, their recent threats to sue, we're encouraging them. Tell them to sue. Let them sue. They are government. They have all the money. They have all the resources. They have the sophistication and all of that. Let them sue. But apparently they realize that they are not inclined enough to make such a suit. The parameters for those kind of suits, they don't have that sophistication. They cannot even appreciate it. And Mr. Arthur Johnson, like you said about his credentials, he tries to present himself as the PhD man. When I was here, I was giving scholarship to do PhD in law. What are you doing PhD in law
exactly. For? And he's doing paralegal. You can't be a counselor, then you go do
Then
PhD
you go to do
paralegal.
exactly. Oh my goodness, is that it? Probably
Yeah. Legal status. Legal status.
legal
Legal
study. Yeah,
status
you're right.
for legal status for
Yeah,
non-lawyers. For
yes,
people
you're right.
who want just understand the administrative part of the law, not to be lawyer.
Exactly. That's exactly. And I think that's why they say he didn't even go through any school to get that because he would have understood.
Stephen,
You know,
I see your.
so
Oh,
they
sorry.
got no basis for suing. They cannot sue. That's true. They've been intimidating people. I know just a minute, Mona. I know a journalist who published a story and they threatened to sue him. And he got to me. I said, double down on your story. Repeat it. And they got the press union to call him. I said, don't even go there. Write them back and tell them that you will not go there. This means that government official and you have the right to report on him and you will not attend any forum in which he is attending. If he has anything against you, let him go to court. He said, Counselor, I said, be brave. I'm your lawyer. If I'm not there, I will find lawyer to represent you. Defy the press union to not attend and tell him to go to court and sue. You know what you're talking about. The case died. They even wanted him to retract his story. I said, no, don't do it. Instead, republish the story, double down on the story. And he did. Every time they tell you retract, republish. And nothing has happened. They did nothing because he stood up to them. You know, and the report is right. They use that all the time. Oh, Counselor, they said they were suing for 50 million. Why are getting 1 million from before I would talk about 50 million? I said they are threatening you to close you down. 50 million will close you down, but no, you spoke the truth. Don't allow them to get you into self-censorship. You spoke the truth and you have the right to say it has a basis. Even if that basis is not 100% correct, you have a basis. He should be addressing himself to the basis of the suit and not threatening you. So don't go to no press union meeting. Tell them you cannot meet with him. And in fact, you are publishing the story again. You republish the story, and he did. And there's no suit. You know, but for the general public, it is important that these things come out, that there should be no threat to the media in doing his work. Whether
And Counselor,
be lobby or physical.
speaking to that, the reports, let me read what it says here about censorship or content restriction for media.
Stephen, before you proceed, I think before you forget your question, let me ask and you can continue.
Okay, Tupor, yeah, go ahead.
So my question is in relative to what the counselor just said. But first, I'd like to say it's an honor being with you tonight on this platform. But my first question to you, counselor. So under the Liberian law, it's clearly written that we are citizens, journalists, and I mean seditious or even peaceful citizens as well. We have the right to freely speak. I mean, what exactly we have in mind, and we equally have the right to freely assemble. And of recent, at the University of Liberia campus, some students actually gathered, and the government of Liberia, I mean, there's Representative Akaras Moses Gray with support from the government of Liberia. They actually went and invaded those students, and I mean, moving forward, they even put a ban on student politics. Do you actually see this as another good trend? And my second question to you, is Liberia actually going to the post-war era wherein citizens are being haunted by the day? Because according to the report published here, they talk about the violation of human rights and several other atrocities. I mean, it's like they're actually going to the post-war trend wherein things were, like the way they were.
No, we are not
Thank you.
going there, but there are enemies of progress who want to take us back there. And we all should refuse to go there. The university students have a right During our time, we didn't take the university administration to court. We demonstrated and we brought pressure on them. But I'm not there, so I cannot tell them, say, you're bringing pressure on the administration. No, I don't know the situation with them. But they have the right to take the administration to court. Let them justify why they will ban student politics. You say you will do investigation, you haven't even started the investigation yet, and you prejudice it with a decision against the students who were not the agitators or the provocateurs. You know, that is wrong. The university is completely wrong. And Mr. Akaros Gray, the Justice Minister or Ministry of the Police didn't do anything. That's infraction of the peace. That's the one reason the Constitution provided upon which you can arrest a sitting lawmaker who is active and the legislature is in session. When he breaches the peace, when he violates public peace. And that's what Mr. Akaros Gray did. But more than that, the students of Liberia, University of Liberia, can sue him for what he did. You know, we know it's difficult to get justice, but sometimes it's good to bring your issue to the public, you know, so that it can be examined in public. The judge may be corrupted, yes, that's true. But in the presentation of evidence and defense, there's no way you can corrupt that. And the public will watch. Let Mr. Akaros Gray explain what he went to do on campus. He said for lunch, and we all know that he didn't go for lunch. Okay, let him defend himself. And let the student present their grievances against him. They can even sue him for damages. They missed several hours of school work. All of that can be quantified or monetized, and those damages can be put at his feet. And then you spoke of journalists. Yes, journalists have the right to speak. Journalists have the right to assemble like any other citizen, and every citizen have the right to be heard. So when I speak and a journalist broadcasts or televise or publish what I say, it is my statement. The journalist should not be held responsible for that or threatened with libel or anything of the kind. That's what they have been doing. You know, trying to force media institutions into self-censorship. You know, you are using your people for this, you are using. It's a citizen who is speaking. And the citizen has the right to be heard. The only thing when journalists are publishing their stories, they should not polish it with lies. You know, when you publish your story with lies, then it becomes malicious. In that case, the law can hold you responsible. But even if you don't have all the facts and you believe what you published was true, the law cannot hold you responsible for that. Nobody can hold you for believing that what you publish is true. But if you have reason to know that it was a lie and you told a lie, then it becomes malicious. That's when the law may want to hold you. You know, and nobody should, no media institution should delve in that. But if they are just representing the voice of people, of individuals, like I'm here, everything I say, I'm responsible for it. This media should not be and cannot be held responsible. If I speak to a journalist and he publishes in a newspaper, that is me or any other person who is saying it. And the journalist is exercising his right to report and exercising my rights to be heard. Whosoever has a problem with me, they should take it against me instead of going to the media institution.
Thank you, Councillor. And my question I wanted to ask was, you know, when we're talking about the in line with the whole media and censorship thing, in the report it talks about. It says here, let me read verbatim. It says, although generally able to express a wide variety of views, some journalists practice self-censorship to avoid harassment. It goes further to say, some but not all media outlets avoided criticizing government officials due to fear of legal sanction and potential loss of government advertising, which, according to the Press Union of Liberia, was the largest source of media revenue. So you see here now that some of the media self-censor themselves, because to criticize government would mean government will not be bringing business to you. And so now that generally they don't want to speak on the issue, but they're looking at the economics of the issue, because to criticize me, no government entity will bring business to your media outlet, and then you run dry. So let's just pretend that nothing happening in the country so that we can get government-based funding.
Yes, and that is very, very important. That is why people of conviction should stand for the truth. You know, I remember somebody said, with a bullet to my breast, I will speak the truth. I think Pia knows what I'm talking about. You know, and people should stand for the truth. And what government does, they allow the bills to these institutions to accumulate to the extent that they are indebted to you and they are crippling your business. They tell you print and then we'll pay you later. So you go into your reserve funds, you print, and then they don't pay you. So there's a big hole in your budget. And then time to pay, they don't want to pay you. You know, but people should stand up for the truth. They use that, and the institutions are aware of that. Government owes allow the institutions, and that is it. And Mr. Tue, who is responsible to pay the bills, will go and tell them, well, if you publish that story, we will not pay you and all of that. And then they have journalists too who are quote unquote gatekeepers. They are there with their colleagues. They know the stories that are coming up. They know what their colleagues are saying, and they go to government and alert government in advance. Oh, Jerome Fredder sent a story. That story will be coming up on Tuesday. Then they will come to threaten that media institution. But some institutions have grown beyond that. They are strong and they are independent, and so they don't allow the government to manipulate them. But it is a very, very serious case. It is still ongoing, you know. And the other part of it, how much does government publish in newspapers, in the media? Not much. But when they speak that way, they're talking about whatsoever money they get on the side from government, the so-called kato, they call it. The money that is given to media to influence the stories that they carry. That is what happens. And then they lose all of that. But there's not much advertisement from government. And on account of that, you know, people are supposed to be free. They are supposed to stand up for the truth. They are supposed to speak the truth. They are supposed to write the truth. They are supposed to publish the truth, irrespective of what. Others have done it and survived. You know, if you lose your reputation now under this administration, what happens tomorrow when there's a better administration? Nobody will trust your people. Nobody will buy your people. Then your business will be on our mind.
Thank you, guys. We've been joined by Honorable Yeke Koluba. Honorable Yeke Koluba is the representative for District Number 10 in Montserrado County. And it's good that he's joining us, because in keeping with the same human rights issue, today his resident came under attack by the CDC. So we'd like to hear from Honorable Koluba. Honorable Koluba, welcome to the class. Reloaded. My man I'll be running behind you to get you. It's like you're looking for diamond.
I mean, they say you can say the cloud reloaded, you can talk. They say you can say on the cloud reloaded, you can speak BB book. That's what somebody told me.
I know, right?
My man, I'll send you some pictures. Somebody get some equipment for you. I'll send you some pictures.
On which one? My Lone Star or my Orange?
Yeah, your Lone Star. Your Lone Star. I'll send you some pictures. You must look at it.
Oh, I hardly put my Lone Star on. But I'll my Orange.
Okay, I will send you those pictures. Those are heads walkie-talkie. A lot of them. Somebody wants to send it to you.
No arms.
But welcome, Honorable.
Yeah, Stephen, just before you come to Yeke, let me
very low, very low.
So check why you're using. Maybe it's your phone or if that laptop you're using. Carry the volume up.
Welcome, Honorable. Welcome. We're happy to have you here.
Carry why are you using volume up? Because we are very loud. It gotta be your phone or if that laptop you're using. Why is low? Yeah, put carry up.
Wow.
They got a volume place of the phone or the laptop. Let them carry up. Then you hear us. But because we're very loud.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very loud.
Yeah.
I had to adjust mine down.
Even my laptop here is very low because it's so loud. I had to lower it. So just check if that laptop you're using, Honorable Koruba, check the volume of it. If that phone carry the volume up, but we're very loud. All right, while the Honorable is fixing that, Stevie, I wanted to say there's something that came before the censorship that you were talking about. The report also admits that the journalists are really faced with violence and they are harassed. If you see the paragraph before coming to the censorship, it says, Press Association reported government officials occasionally harass newspapers and radio station owners, as well as individual journalists because of their political opinion or reporting. And it says, unknown perpetrator caused, for example, caused extensive damage to a radio station in Lofa during an alleged April 23rd armed arson attack. So it is not just about a freedom contract and therefore you have self-censorship. It is also because they have faced violence from, it says, the government and officials of the government, and the report is alluding to all of that, Councillor Vadia.
Yeah, it's true. Another very unfortunate situation too, that government officials harass the media. So apart from
Am I okay now?
Oh yeah, you clear.
Apart from the cash violence, they attack media institutions.
You been okay, Yakela. You say you're not hearing us, but you okay.
You know, apart from the cash violence, trying to strip them of cash or access to cash or their own money, they attack them, they threaten them. A lot of things happen. You know, and like I said, the government paid specific media institutions, especially journalists, to do what they call gatekeeping. They are the ones who spy on the media and then report it to their handlers in government. And so the government is forewarned, the government is aware in advance of some of the things that are going on. And then they call these guys and warn them. That story you're coming up with tomorrow, you better don't come up with it. And especially now with the talkage behavior of Jefferson Koji. You were just talking about Yeke today. It's Koji who sent his people there. You know, they are loose. They have weapons. They have money. And they have freedom to do what they want to do. So people like that will threaten journalists and then go free with it. But it is true, from what I hear most of the time, even senior government officials, especially in that Ministry of Finance, they threaten journalists often, you know, and sometimes I tell them there's a way to manage the situation without exploring it or without going to court. So sometimes you ignore them and you go ahead to do what you want to do. Most of the time, that's the advice that I give them. Once you are doing the right thing, you have nothing to be afraid of. Once you are doing the right thing, you check your story. The guy who gives it to you, he says his story. Don't publish. I mean, don't famish it. Don't amplify it. Don't make it sensational. You can put a beautiful headline, and the story can be different. That's okay. But don't add your own thing to it. Once the person brings their story the way it is, you have the right to publish it, and you should continue to do it. You know.
Thank you, Councillor. Honorable Yeke, can you hear us? Honorable Koluba, can you hear us?
I can't hear anything.
Wow, but we can hear you. We can hear you. I don't know why you're not hearing us.
Maybe he's muted. You can ask him if he's muted.
Yeah, I think so.
No, but when he talk, we hearing him. So he's saying not hearing
Okay,
us. So
yeah.
If he's muted, we're not hearing. So
Yeah.
when we're hearing, he's not muted.
He's not muted, yeah.
So
I
is
think
his
there's something with
device.
his device.
Let him restart his computer.
Maybe you want to log off and log back in. Just restart a little bit sometimes. Pia, you muted.
Maybe he's using earpiece, and then he can get rid of the earpiece, and maybe it'll be okay for him.
Yeah, if you got earpiece, move the earpiece. Yeah, you will log on and come back in. So I think, yeah, let him log on and come back in. But it's good that we can have him. Let's hear from him because he's been in the news. In fact, in this report, it talks about it says on June 27, a vehicle belonging to opposition political figure Yeke Koluba was attacked and damaged while he was campaigning. The attack occurred in the presence of LMP officers who did not intervene. They talked about it in the same report.
Oh, well, it's good to have him. If the report mentioned him directly, it's good at his own.
Yeah, he's mentioned, and Yeke has been constantly targeted. And
he got attacked today again.
Exactly, and as we lead up towards elections, those are some of the issues they'll be cautioning them about.
Honorable, you hear us now?
Yeah, I'm on the line with you people now.
Okay, that's good.
Perfect. All right, it's good to have you. As I was saying, I got somebody got some supplies for you. I will send it to your second number. Instead, I will send it to your Dubai second number. Somebody get some supplies. I will show you the picture so that we can.
Yeah,
I'll send it. So good to have you. Welcome to the class, even though you've been running away from us.
Well, you know that my show here, so I'm not running away.
It's good
you got my chief on the show. Honorable Fadia is on the show, so that my show here.
Exactly. So
welcome, Honorable.
Today we watched a video of people. They said Jefferson Koji sent some people at your home to attack you. Can you tell us what happened?
Okay, today while I was sitting with my people across my brigade hall, people call me from my house junction because my hall, the hall is right around the house junction. They say your house is under attack by seditions, and I know all those guys that did it. Most of them work with Jefferson Koji, and some of them are seditions on the old road. But the election violence just started. And they said they're coming to my house to another burn my house. Let me say this. And now what I said in the presence of the police, I told the police, if you people are here, these people attack me, I will attack the police. Because the police are supposed to be there to bring peace, to arrest people that are behaving disorderly. But if the police is present and being attacked and nothing is done, I will attack the police. Go are those days where people will just run after people now and things happen. And I want to say this again on the media. All the people that were involved with that thing, I know them. If any of them touch my house, I will move to their houses. I'm not going to carry a complaint to the police. I will not take any complaint to the police. Any of them attack my house, I will move to their houses. Somebody will carry a complaint, I can't carry a complaint. And they are planning. They are gearing up to move. And I dare them to move. It will be very, very bad. If they move, I will move. It's too much. These people have attacked me. That particular group have attacked me since 2018. Yeah. I'm not getting any redress. I have my children program. It was disrupted by them. They went to the house, vandalized my tenants' property, and stole things. The Justice Ministry didn't do nothing. I would never carry a complaint to the Justice Ministry. People would take my complaint there. That's why you process and see. If my house is attacked tonight, I will attack some people's houses. Yes. I say this of fear of favor. It's too much. This thing needs to stop. This thing needs to stop. Because what will happen in the election, that's what we're looking at. So, any of my political leader is attacked by CDC, I will attack the political leader. So watch the process and see. Watch the process and see. I dare them. Any of my political leader is being attacked by the CDC, I will attack them. They're killing it. So watch the process and see. What they want, they will get it. And they saw it today. Let them try it again. I'm waiting for them. They try my house, I will move to their houses. If they point my house, I will point their houses down. So watch the process and see. You think when Sarah Polo can kill us, then the government say, how much sympathy? We are sympathy. Now you get sympathy.
Honorable, one of the things we wanted to do for you on this show, and you need to find time to come, is to raise money for you to support your effort, your group you are putting together. We wanted to raise some money here. Some people saying they get pepper spray, they get walkie-talkie, they get how they call that thing they can use, the police can use, it's like a shock, like an electric shock. taser. They got taser. They got all these
Yeah.
things they want sent to
Electric
you.
platoon.
The stun gun, the teaser.
Yeah, the electric platoon, the taser, all the things people want send it to you. So you need. I'll call you after the show. We'll find a day. You come here. You get a number. We'll get a contact of person we can drop those things to ship it to Liberia immediately, so that it can happen. We'll mobilize the people, raise some money to get your boys then ready. Because this election we have to have our own security as opposition, moving around from place to place, even doing the voter registration. There are cases where people intimidating people online, doing all kind of things. We have to be aware. We have to be involved.
Yeah. And I want to take and put it moving attack these. Watch your brothers. There's too much of it. What's happening? If the one piece, just the government would be attack them. Decision and attack them. This is coming and then homeless now. Then come.
Hey, Liberia Internet.
Yeah. So Mark shipping last year, he was shipping for free.
That's good.
That's
You know,
good.
Honorable Yeke has been a constant target, and as he said, there has been no redress. And going to elections, we cannot sit and allow these things to happen. It's a threat to the very elections we're talking about. Whether or not elections will be held is something else. But I think we need to add our voice to it. Yeke has been the Lone Ranger all along, and it continues. So I think we need to add our voices to it and give him that support. It is very, very wrong. And it's happening all in the glare of the public and the police and the justice minister. It's unfair that one person will just be the subject of constant attack, threat to his life. I think his wife and children are out of the country.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
remember
Yes,
when
in Accra.
Okay, I remember he tried to get him out. The passport of one of the children was taken or detained or delayed or something
Even
like that.
a children food. The government
The,
didn't
the,
want to.
the baby formula was also seized.
Baby from okay, what is that?
What's that?
People with no style, no class, no culture, no sense.
Are the
in
kind
this
of people
age
we
and
think will
time.
change?
Yeah, and that goes to your point, Muna. But we have to make them to change. We have to confront evil.
We will do what we gotta do, Councillor. We're not
Yes.
making them change. We will do what we gotta do. What they're doing,
That's
what they
true.
gotta do.
Yes, and if they will not change, we back down,
Yes,
Yes, instead of just allowing them to have a free day, I agree
that's
with
it. They're not changing. They ain't going anywhere.
you. No,
So we should make them to know that we're not going anywhere. We're here, and we're here to stay.
of course. Year in, year out.
Well, yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're here, and we're here to stay. And once they see our persistence, they will bow, because evil will always bow to good.
That's true.
We just got to be persistent.
Yeah.
Honorable Koluba, you there? Wow, internet challenge, man. Like pure. Yeah, Honorable. Yeah, we can see you now. Hello?
Yeah, am I okay?
Yeah, you okay? You're very clear now.
Okay, thank you. I got a problem with my internet here. I just turned to my
I thought
orange
the people were
internet. I
hacking
was using a Lone
we
Star
thought the
internet.
government were hacking your phone.
So, Honorable Koluba, just as you were explaining what happened to you today, are you aware that the U.S. Human Rights report that was just issued, are you aware that they mentioned you talking about how you've been harassed, how you were attacked? Have you seen that?
He's frozen again. Well, I think you need to get some internet booster. So that when
Yeah,
maybe part of the things to be sending to him, he can
yeah. I
use
think
it.
we gotta get one internet booster. Or you're
Yeah.
sending. We gotta find a day, do the flyer, and bring it here next week or so. Let's raise some money for his group that he's organizing to help protect our votes.
What he's saying is very, very important because let me tell you, the two elections that the CDC won, they won it through violence.
Mm-hmm.
The Teda Ure
The
and
Cornelia Crab.
the Cornelia Crass elections. And they believe that formula worked. Even in the Lofa situation, the police showed up in mass, so they believe it worked and they want to use it during the elections. The buying of the arms is not just something out of their mind, they believe that it works. Okay, and to the best of my information, they are buying the arms now from the open market in Texas. That's where the arms are coming from. Because Texas has an open carry arms law.
Mm-hmm.
So all they need to do is just threaten people. If you show up to this district or at this time, something will happen. We'll deal with you. Then everybody will stay away. And their supporters will know that they will not harm them. Their supporters will go and vote.
That's their tactics, Councillor.
That's their tactics, yes. Even the voters' registration, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have started trucking their people around. As soon as all their people have registered, the next thing they will do is to bring violence at the voters' registration spot. And you see the limited time that the Elections Commission have put in for registration. And I'm surprised that the political parties are not observing that. They have told their people, go and hurry up and register within 1 week. So all of us who will be waiting for the last day to go and register, they will cause violence, they will cause trouble, and people will not register. The time is too short. Voter registration should be an open and a free process that people should take their time and
All
go.
through the year, people should
Yes,
register to vote.
thank you. People shouldn't feel coerced to go. But you come and say 10 days, 11 days, 12 days to register. And in populated areas like Monrovia, that's where they have limited the time. Simply because, like I said, election is already rigged. They have their special people who have already been registered. They said they were doing citizen ID card registration and all of that kind of thing. We don't know up to now how many persons they registered. We don't know what have happened to the process. One information was they heard that a lot of people were coming from the diaspora to register, and so they cut it off. But no, I don't think so. I think they have a sufficient number of illegal and fake voters who have been registered that they think they can manage.
Yeah.
So when they have those people to come and vote, the next thing is to see what elections. I heard one of the elections commissioners saying, any ID you bring, even you bring citizen ID card, how many librarians have citizen ID card for it to be? But that's how they intend to cheat. From my perspective, there won't be elections because I think the conditions are not ripe and the Elections Commission is not prepared. But in a time of peace, you have to prepare for war. The political parties have to take control of what is happening and make sure they police the process so that the elections cannot be stolen in broad daylight.
Yeke is still having this problem, Councillor, but you've been following Liberia very well on all these human rights related issues. You've been documenting, you've been talking about them. And if you just reflect, since this government came to power, the number of times they have harassed Yeke Koloba, there were several times his home was surrounded by thugs. There were times police barricaded his home trying to arrest him. You heard the reference that was made here. He was taking his family out of the country because they were not safe. The family was being harassed at the airport. Even the baby food for the baby was taken away. To tell you how cruel these people have been and how they have been harassing Yeke throughout during this regime. And you've been documenting most of these issues. Are you surprised that his name is in the human rights report, but for a good reason. Not that he did something, but the report is basically talking about what people have done to him.
No, not surprised. He has been persistent. So it's a trend. Even in Granji there, Yeke is an honorable. He's supposed to travel with police. In Granji there, he was rescued by the military and not the police. The superintendent of Granji there is a notorious rebel. And they attack Yeke there. The police didn't do anything. Yes, it is the military that was around and heard about it that went to Yeke's rescue. And one thing he has been saying, there's been no redress since it started back in 2018. Police have shown no concern. The so-called president has shown no concern. The leadership of the legislature have shown no concern. Nothing. And he's just a one-man army. That's why I was saying we need to join him, join forces with him, add our voices to it, and make sure that the situation is raised to the top so that they can stop. And they are all talks, and we know where they are coming from. We know who control the talks. We know who control the militia army that is in the country with all of the arms and all of that. And it's a threat to the elections. And that is part of the reason why you see they are being summoned to the US without any distraction. Let them go to a place where they cannot use their phones, where they cannot use their cameras. And then they will be asked questions, and then they ask questions, and they will be confronted with the evidence of what they have been doing. I mean, a complete gangster's paradise which they have been running over the last 4 years. Somebody asked me day before yesterday, you are very critical of the government. I said, because the government is very, very evil and wicked. I call the president so-called president because he hasn't done anything good as a president. So the person said, you want to tell me this government has not done anything good at all in the 5 years? I said, well, if I think hard, there's only one thing they have done. And that thing was the opening of the executive mansion. And they got the different choirs to come and pray and ask for God's intervention in our country. I said, so far, to the best of my recollection, that's the only thing good or positive this government has done, but nothing else. When it comes to fixing roads and all of that, they use government projects and procurement processes to steal money, to launder money, to take money out of the system, to send money out. Every road project, they have their cuts there. If it is not their company that is doing the road, it is their interest, and they get money back coming to them. All of that happened. Nothing good has come out of this government. But then I didn't expect anything. If people are surprised, then it's because they do not know the character called Weah. I mean, he grew up as a criminal, and he's continued to be a criminal. He's somebody who has operated in the dark world from the time he knew himself and up to the time he came to stardom. There was a time a fellow, if I don't know the particular name now, was arrested in America for drugs, for dealing in drugs. And Weah was at that guy's place when his house was busted. And besides that, there have been other cases. So he is an underground person. That's how he operates. That's how he feels free. Criminality has surrounded him all along, but unfortunately, he got to where he is. He made a promise. He made a deal.
Bestman.
With,
You call the guy Bestman.
Bestman, yes. He made a deal with Ering. He made a deal with the Russians, and so they all helped him to get there. And he doesn't believe the Liberian people got him there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have relied on a deal. And that's the thing he has against the Liberian people. He knows Liberian people never voted for him in an overwhelming majority way for him to win elections. So that hatred is there. He hates the Liberian people for all of that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, get back, you get clear before the internet go by again.
Yeah, are you there?
So
Yeah.
like Manchiva is saying, or what is saying, Ambassador Weir is a serious facilitator when it comes to drugs trafficking. That one of the things he was someone for, from my understanding and from my information. He's a serious facilitator.
Yep.
He always involved with this kind of criminal and crooked attitude. He's involved with money laundering. He's involved with the drugs business. Everywhere, the Liberia is being used as one of the central points for drugs business now. And anywhere there's drugs business, terrorists will always be there.
Yep.
So you see, the CIA sending for him, it's a bad thing for him. It's not a good sign for him. It's an embarrassment to him. It shows that he is disgraced. It shows that he is embarrassment. It shows that he is crook. It shows that he is a serious facilitator. The people arrested drugs. In less than 2 weeks, they arrested another one. Where he came from? You think he don't know? He said, well, everything that's going on. Liberia is being used as the most central point in West Africa for drug trafficking. You think the American government don't know? They know that. That one of the things Sarina Silva was placed on sanction for, the money laundering. From what I know, and my information is 100% correct.
Very true.
My information is correct. So these people do not have interest in the Liberian people. These people are just crooks that want to take their country back to the dark days. You think we're going to sit and the people run after us here? You think we're going to sit and people behave that to rig election? Look, that is why I said in my press conference, if Ambassador, we are used gun to rig election, we'll use gun to run after him. I have said that on so many occasions. I just trying to re-echo on this show. You check my recordings, it's all in my recordings. So I'm not saying them on the show. I just trying to re-echo what I said in my press conferences. What I have said in my press conferences. If they use gun to rig election, we'll use gun to run after them. You didn't wait for ECOWAS to come say, oh, let peace be peace. It is about time that ECOWAS come in and see what is going on to bring peace and bring people to book. Oh, people should steal the Liberian trust, the Liberian vote. Then we say let peace be peace. It will not work. It's not going to work. It's about time for the international community to come in. ECOWAS, you people always wait for things to happen so you people can benefit. Because when situation going on in your country, that when ECOWAS benefit, that when they get more money, I am saying it, that when they get more money, that when they get involved with a lot of crooked deeds, they always say, oh, we condemn it. But you saw the situation going on in Guinea. You see the situation going on now in Liberia. People being killed, no redress. People being harassed, no redress. In the face of ECOWAS. Oh, then they must do something. Then you say, can't say peace. Now, other peace, maybe that you're the diplomat, then will be discussing that peace. I'm not going to discuss anything with the people. It is about time for them to bring the peace now, before the election. Because what we're seeing now, what will happen during the election will be more than what is happening now. With this kind of police, this kind of policy police in charge, you think we'll listen to them? You think we will listen to them? No. So let them come in now. Let people start being killed. We'll all redress. What's the report? People being harassed. Tila Jire, Yombri Kanga are being harassed. Children party being disrupted and children being brutalized in the face of this embarrassment, according to Justice Minister. Look, let them watch the process and see. The day you see me going to the police station to carry somebody complaint, then I mean I didn't carry my complaint. When the later put people in, fire in a mouth, he know where to haul it. Anytime the later put fire in a mouth, then I mean he showed that he got somewhere to haul it. Then that's like the people boss it.
I saw some in a video. I saw some police officers around your place. What did they do? Why were they there for? Did they do anything?
Nothing. The people that did it were down. I them a house. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, and listen to me very well. If people are going to come back and attack me in the face of the police, if the police are not going to arrest them, I was going to attack the police. No, the only way the problem can be solved in the country, we are getting to that point. And I told them in the face, I told the commander, I said, people say that people attack me, and you don't arrest them, I will attack you. In the face of the commander, brother people. And they know, most of the guys work on me in the police. Most of the guys were trained by me. They know I got a mind. Oh, you think to hold a gun and having a mind? You get a mind to hold a gun? Eh? They say Rambo can fight a show. All that thing Rambo doing, Rambo capture time a show. That's not reality a show.
Are you aware that the new human rights report issued by the American at least recognized that you've been harassed? It made a particular. Maybe Stephen can read it to you, that portion.
So let me read what it says.
It says something that it did to you, and the U.S. human rights report mentioned it. Let Stephen just read it to you so you can hear what it says.
Let me find it. Yeah. It says on June 27, a vehicle belonging to opposition political figure Yeke Koluba was attacked and damaged while he was campaigning. The attack occurred in the presence of LMP officers who did not intervene. This is coming from the U.S. State Department.
That is just one that they put there. So this is a warning to the police. The international community say you people are harassing me. Even in the house, I've been harassed. Where I'm supposed to express my view. Even in the house, I've been harassed. The Justice Minister said MCM and said the police not supposed to carry a gun. The other police said the police not supposed to carry a gun. I wrote my communication the last embarrassment I call it said Papa Chimo. Pull it on there, general, not saying for the poor. Why do people still carrying gun? And people being killed. You know, like embarrassment that been I become a big boy to judge. We are say, Papa Chimo, the president said none of your communication must surface. That's what I told him. I said, you, Papa Chimo, you open loving to you open wealth. I hold no regret for my statement.
Free speech.
Yeah.
Yes.
Councilor, I want you and Yeka to talk on it. You talk about batting Niswa, right? You talk about batting Niswa's death, and I managed to get some pictures of the place the incident occurred. So you see, this is Batting's house. This is the door up there is where they say he fell from, and the place on the ground is where they say he fell. So if you see there where they have the soft drink crates and the few empty gallons of 5 gallons. You see there down. Now, if you look at where they say he fell, see the quantity of blood on the ground for somebody who fell from up here and fall down here and die. You know, when you look at the quantity of blood on the ground, how can anybody be convinced that somebody actually will fall from up?
But Stephen, before the answer, go back to that first picture. So when somebody fall, that's a small door there. If you fall from that small door, how come you enter out to where the soft drink can is?
Actually,
so fall down right in the flower pot.
How come not in the flower pot? Right on the door, but way to this distance.
Way on the other side.
Yeah, how did that happen?
That's a government orchestrated execution. Eyewitness saw the accident with the dagger in his hands, and they killed him. Even when Mr. Tuer's brother, Norris Tuer, took him from the house, he was still alive. He was wounded, but he was still alive. And Norris Tuer taking somebody who is critically injured to a hospital, you stop on the way, park the car, get off the car, and went on your phone for over 20 minutes. You didn't come to the rescue. You came to finish the job.
Mhm.
Okay, and you took him to the hospital, and by the time you got him to the hospital, his brother Samuel Twere was there. The health minister was there, and those were all people Yinswa had reported having conflict with. The former director of the Freeport was there, and he made comments about them. It was all about those audit reports. They wanted those auditors to fix the report. And Yinswa said he couldn't get his auditors to fix the report. Their report is their report. And he himself could not fix the report he too worked on. The summary of those different reports. That's why he was killed. There's no way anybody would have dropped from there and then you have that kind of wound. Okay? If you fell on your face, the wound will be on your face. If you fell on your back, the wound will be on your back. And you won't have that kind of deep cut to waste that kind of blood. So Yisra was killed, it was orchestrated, it was planned. When he went out to Calabash for the drink that he invited him to, the man who invited him spread the table with the drinks, but he himself was not drinking. He wanted to create the impression that, oh, yes, he was drunk, and so he fell off, and that's how he got injured and he died. And the man noticed that James Thompson, who invited him there, the CSA director, was not drinking. And they called him and acquainted him with that fact. I mean, you invited us there to come and drink, and you are not drinking. What's going on? And he said, oh, okay, I will drink. He took one glass of wine, and that was it. And Batty himself decided not to drink too. And his female companion decided not to drink, so they didn't drink themselves. They all held to the one glass that they had because they didn't feel comfortable. And then another thing, when Batten was prepared to leave the Calabash, his vehicle was backed in. They brought a car in the front and a car in the back. So there was no way he could have gotten out until they were ready for him to. So that tells you the operation was going on at his house. His door key had gotten missing 2 days before. So the operation was going on at his house, and they didn't want him to leave prematurely or too early to go and meet the operation on or before the operation went on. And so they delayed him, they detained him until when they were ready. Then the individual came, took his time, and moved the cars and allowed him to go. And the assassins were already in Batin Yinswa's house. And when they hit him and got him downstairs, his companion was very, very dazed, giving the impression that they sprayed something in the room before they did their operation. So she just pretended to be sleeping. And she saw the man with the knife, the butcher's knife. Saw him with the knife. And he called, what do I do with the lady? And then he went out. Apparently, he was told not to leave the lady. The lady wasn't part of their calculation because when they left Calabash, Batten took the lady to her house. So Batten entered the fence. So the presumption was the lady had gone, he had entered the fence to grab the lady. But the lady, not being settled in her spirit, felt that he shouldn't go alone. So she decided, no, I will go with you. So she got her change of clothes and got back in the car and went with him. They didn't see that because it was in the fence. So she was a surprise appearance at the house at the execution of the plan. So they got there. One of the boys in the house came banging on the door. She thought it was a joke. When she went and saw Batten lying down. She went and saw him losing blood and gasping for air. He was still alive. She called Mr. Norris to her over 12 times because he was the closest. He didn't show up. He took his time, and when he came, his comments were, "Oh, this brother been drinking too much." And so he just hurt himself by falling down. This brother has been drinking too much, and he just fell down.
That was the first thing he said.
That was the first thing he said when he got there. So the girl asked him, "Were you wearing here? How you knew he fell down?" And more than that, he wasn't drinking. Marcel was not drinking. We didn't drink. He was sober. We were sober. Then he got a car to take Barton to the hospital. When the lady decided to go, he said, "No, you stay here. That man's business has nothing to do with you." And then they went. She told Barton relative to go along. And then he went, and then he stopped the car and went on his phone for 20 minutes. Talking whatsoever he was talking, calling whosoever he was calling, somebody in an emergency bleeding, gasping for breath. And when they went to the hospital, Wilhelmina Jara was there, Mr. Finance Minister was there, the man from the revenue agency was there. All of them were there, 5 o'clock in the morning. Why were they there for? To make sure the project was completed. They call it the coup de grace, give the final blow. And he was weak, so I guess the only thing they did was just take the pillow or the cloth and just cover his nose and make sure he suffocated to the end. And when he got home to the man's house, he met a lady and other people there. Just so the man died. The man died. Our man is dead. No emotions. Your own brother, somebody in whose house you were more or less living, you were there having parties, weekends, and all of that. No emotions. Just see the man die. The next thing he asked for the man's car key. He asked for the man's computer. He went in the man's room, turned everything upside down. Nobody knew what he was searching for. And then he left. He left. And before Barton could leave to go out, he he was reluctant to go. He was reluctant to go out that night. And he had gotten the tip off. You know, his girl tried to convince him, "Don't go out. You know, after all these things that have happened, you need to stay home and all of that." And these were his words. "These guys are my brothers. I don't think they can plot against me." Somebody had told him. He was in Nima County, I think, for a workshop or something like that. They told him, "Don't return to Monrovia." He said, "These are my brothers. They can't do anything to me." So he took the friendship for granted and everything, and he gave up his life. And he came to Monrovia. He made comments when we were harassing him. Samuel Twelve was harassing him over and over about those reports. They wanted the auditors to fix the report. And since he's been ahead, they thought he could do it. But he said, no, he couldn't do it. Those guys were professionals. So they would keep their reports and they would defend their reports. He would not be used. And he said that these guys think we are stupid. They think we went to school for nothing. We went to learn, and then time to practice what we have learned. They come and want us to fix reports for them. And he refused. You know, and he spoke very shamefully about the health minister. He said, "Look at this woman. These people, you know, they got their face in stealing. This woman created a lot of fake COVID centers. We went there, we saw nothing, and they collected all that money. Only she and her people shared it. That's how, because she knew her name was in the report. She knew that the report wasn't good. She knew what she did, along with the finance minister, all of them. So they plotted to kill him. And thinking that Israel would not have gone out that night, they convinced his companion to convince him to go. And it is James Thompson, the head of the civil service agency, who called her and told her, "You got to come, man. You got to convince the man." But the man had made up his mind already to go out. So she didn't do much convincing. So you got to come. So it was a plot, a conspiracy. And the two persons who executed that project were Sabato Dennis and Logan Davis. They were the two people who were on that project. And they were positive ID. They were identified. And we double-checked sources, yes. They were on that project that night because they were missing from their usual places. So they just decided to take a young life, a valuable life away just because of the truth. And it's not just one person. All of those other four auditors, if you see that they were killed within a period of about 8 days. All the auditors were killed. And everything has gone silent on those reports. No COVID report. No report on the consolidated fund. No updated report on the 25 million. No report on the consolidated fund. No report on the road project fund. Everything has gone quiet. And they want to feel that they have done something good and they will go free. If they are not careful, those same prison conditions that they are keeping horrible, it's the same prison conditions they will have.
Where do we end up?
Yes, definitely. If we don't make makeshift prison, that transforming that ATS into a prison, that's where they will end up. The prison is overcrowded. The children sleep now on shift. Tonight, my time to sleep. Tomorrow, your time to sleep. You will be able to sleep on Friday. There were times they had no food. The children were eating bare, dry rice. When relatives take food there for their people, the securities take it and eat it. It doesn't even reach them. Overcrowded, ventilation is poor, hygiene is horrible. Instead of thinking about rehabilitation, they have our people in that place. It's so deplorable.
Well, Councillor,
The worst citizens have taken over our country. And
Liberia had to experience George Weah.
I've heard that before. Otherwise, he would have had a hold on the country. It would stay civil. If we had taken part, he would have won. Or if we had won, this would have happened. I heard some people have told me that.
We had to experience this for our liberation. Now, if we are liberated, or I won't say if or when, it's not about if, it's about when now.
Because it has to happen.
It has to happen. It will be one true liberation. George Weah has done his worst, and I think his worst is his best. People are saying that George Weah is heartless. I don't see him as heartless. I see him as who he is. He can't do any other than what he does. He's no better than who he is. That's just him. So we will know who we are and what we can do. We will do what we can do, and George Weah will do what he has to do. Liberia have experienced a lot.
Yep.
It's saddened that Ninswa or Yenswa, his name is, they didn't go back to history to understand that it was Brutus that struck the last blow at Caesar. That most of the times the person you trust most is the person that let you down. It's unfortunate that he had to go down the way he went, trusting people that he had no business trusting. But the final whistle is being blown.
Amen.
Liberia will see her liberation.
Amen.
Yes. Liberia will see her liberation. We are not keeping quiet. We won't keep quiet. We will say and do what we got to do, and God will honor our works.
Amen.
Thank you so much, Councillor.
Thank you.
Councillor Freddie and Stevie, these killings that we're talking about, Baten, the auditors, and all these people, were they reflected in past reports, past human rights reports on the country?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All
They
right.
were.
So then it is like every time we got the same things happening over and over. There and there with the auditors, they were Baten. Now we still come. The report is acknowledging political killing
Yeah.
by the police, by the government, and so sad.
And the situation has aggravated. There are more killings than before. You know? And all the secret killings, the 3 missing boys, they just add on to it. A very, very sad situation. Yeah. Our poor country.
And in all of this that is happening, the president is just quiet.
Yeah. I don't even believe we have a president.
Yeah, it's like we don't even have a president.
We don't have a president. That's why I say he's a so-called president. He doesn't act like one. He doesn't behave like one. He doesn't think like one. It's just unfortunate, but like Mona is saying,
It's a cult, Councillor. It's not a presidency. It's a cult. It's something that is evil, and people are blaming officials in the government. I will blame them because it's their choice. But I tell you that we has influence. That evil influence, it runs through everybody, everywhere. Look at the women that are in the government. They're not even free to have a relationship because they feel they belong to this one tyrant of a man. Even the men, they may sleep with both men. He sleep with women. When he know you married to this person, he go and sleep with your wife or the husband. This is a piece of demon, because I'm thinking, which one man got that kind of strength to sleep with woman, sleep with man? It's a demon. He's a demon. He's demonic. He has this influence over people that we can't even, we don't know how to describe. People cannot do what they want to do. The justice minister cannot do what he wants to do because he's being influenced. The police director is being influenced. Even though he's part of that influence because he know better, they are all being influenced and they like it. Why is a man like Yeke not part of it? Because he chose not to be. That's his choice.
you're right.
And they want to get rid of him.
Yeah.
But they can't kill everybody. I tell people say, Mona, you can't be on that show talking. Well, if it's time for me to talk, I have to. Everybody can die. Some will, and some will still go moving. And we are the ones that will live to tell the story.
Amen. Thank you, Mona.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Can we take a few calls? Let's hear from the public. Let's hear what our people have to say. It's been a very since Councillor explained the whole Baten thing. Sad. Because I used to know Bating. At the time, I used to work at the Ministry of Finance, and we had, I was an economist with for the Ministry of Finance, and we had a lot of interaction with the IA. It was under the reform that we did that brought internal auditors to be assigned at ministry and agency, for the sole purpose of checks and balances, accountability in public service, and how because we know, and this is for a fact, the source of public corruption is procurement.
Yep.
That's the biggest source of public corruption, procurement. That's why all officials of government want to get involved in the procurement. And once they get involved in procurement, it becomes a source of public corruption. So Bating was a very nice guy, very open-minded guy. His house was like open to everybody. You go there, you hang out. Bating was a very people-friendly person, I would describe him.
Yeah.
And it just tells you the extent to which you have to build your fences. You can't just trust everybody. But it's a lesson learned.
That's the lesson.
Saw it with the kids, with Matthew Innes, the auditors, the missing boys, Gifty, Albert Peters, and the Robert Ellis, the SS officer who, when there was an interview with his wife, and she gave a very gory detail as to the last moment she had with him on the phone, when he called her and said the people were after him.
Yeah.
And she was like, who people? She said, the people after me, I can't talk all. And she said it publicly, so nobody making story up yet. She said it on live TV and nothing broke my heart was when her little son, I think it should be somewhere around 5, 6, or 7, thereabout, when she was about to end the interview, and Costa had asked, and the little boy said, I want to say something. And Costa said, how are you, young man? Fine, blah, blah, blah. And one of the things he closed by, the little kid said, and that thing rings bell in my mind. And that child growing with that mindset will eventually, you know what he said? He said, I want justice for my father. Yes, this is a 5-year-old kid talking about, I want justice for my father.
You made me cry, man, Stephen.
Yeah, I'll try to get that tape, Muna. I'll try to get it. I used to have it. I'll try to find it. He said it. I played on the show here before. He said it. He said, I want justice for my father.
His father was talking to his mom. He heard his father's last voice.
Yeah, you see, that's somebody you're confirming.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you've hurt people. Only because you want to cover up your shitty deeds. You've damaged family. You've damaged kids. I just this earthly possession, the desire for earthly possession.
Yes.
I tell people I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to live a decent life.
Okay, let's take some calls, Steven.
Yeah.
I mean, don't stretch yourself beyond bound. Let's take some calls.
Yeah, let's take a few calls, man.
All right, let me start from here. Call on the line where.
Good evening to everybody. I am Miss Estella McGill. My pressure is up right now. I have been listening to Councilor Freya. I know him, but probably he cannot remember me. I'm working coming up. He kind of intervened in our situation there one time, and I trust his ability. I trust his just judgment. I trust who he is for being a person of heart. Look, what Mona just said, I know Mona too. That country, Liberia, my church used to pray for Liberia before the election, and I used to be one of those that used to hold a flag. It's very spiritual. I remember the day of inauguration, I held that flag when we were praying. It's like the spirit of immorality, the wicked demons, like There was no control. I had to give that flag out to somebody. I told the pastor, I cannot hold this flag. So I know what Liberia is going through. I understand sensitively what Liberia is going through. How in the world can you take the life of father from the children? How in the world can you take the life from mother from the children? What is going on, my people? I'm waiting. I know how the parents feel. I know how the children feel. What can we do for this situation we find ourselves in? All those that put a hand behind our boy, meaning today, President suffering, our people, the wrath of God will fall upon them with all mission. They will not see no goodness in the land of the living. The Christ of our people will go to the third and the fourth generation.
Amen.
The children will see it, except there is no God. Oh, I'm hurting. I know what we're doing. My people, what we're doing. Oh, I'm hurting. I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm waiting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take it easy.
Yes, Maggie. Thank you.
The pressure was already up, don't go beyond bound. Let me take this one. I'll come to you, Jupor. Let me take the other caller. Call on the language. You have to stop listening to what you're listening to and just pay attention to your phone and make your point quickly.
Hello.
Yeah, make your point.
Well, I'm Ulek Mumble. I call from the U.S.
Yes, sir.
I think this is crystal as clear. Yeke Koluba has spoken. It is incumbent upon every Liberian, whether in the diaspora community, to rally around the opposition political parties or the opposition folks to see how we can rejuvenate the strength of the opposition. President, we are, that's a difficult attitude, have become the order of the day. It's not changing anything. People may think that George Weah will transform after he has come from the investigation of the CIA. But I'll tell you this. We will come up to resist. The only way we can press Weah is the citizens themselves. Power in their numbers in solidarity of their country. These are becoming unbecoming. We must resist. We must resist. Our country cannot be plunged into the kind of crisis that is meted against us. We do nothing to the government. We do nothing to the government official who steals our money, make a living in impunity, as prosperity and nationalize us. It is time for every Liberian love for country so that we can stand up against the tyrannical approaches that will divert our beautiful country for peace and stability. Yeke Koluba, you need to rally people.
All right, sir. Thank you. I think the last one I'll come to you, Jupor. You got 1 minute. Go ahead quickly. Okay, that caller go, Jupor, go ahead.
So if I can take on, let me just announce the number. 087043660, 087043660, 07704472019, 07704472019, and +1 401 688 8266 are the numbers. Waveland, please go ahead.
Hello?
You're having a program, please go ahead, Chief.
Thank you, brother. My name is now the County. Thank you. I want to say thank you to every one of you and our councilor. Let me tell the people what is going on now. If people knew the story of the big car who had a horse around the whole Africa that is bunch of, and there you are to teach us to. And they just today, if you knew what happened to Jigisa, and you say, but again, I will bring the United States because the country around the world would have this country in the United States. And you will look at the kind of government treating us like this, and we can even open up here investors and take kind of the country to invest. No company at all. People go yeah, when after people eat here. You know, I'm into the contest that we don't know what it and so they can't visit just stuff like that. So my people is worrisome. And the protest that are going on. 3 days now from center, you will very strong. Our people everything stop the machine. It's a machine, that problem. It's not easy. And God will fight for us. God Jesus God, thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're live on the program. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Robin. I'm on the
Please go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, I want to congratulate to this people on the whole of the general where we are registered, but I don't know that February
You have to relax and ask your question, Chief. Just relax. I say you have to relax and ask the question. Yes.
I'm saying I want to disclaim, but I don't know good. I mean, you put to register. Well, I'm not money, but it's not what I'm
Okay, but I think
Oh, there they will show you.
Yeah, go. Let it go. I'll show you.
Oh, you want to honorable mention first? Okay, thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
You're live on the program, Chief. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Rufus K. Balachino calling you from Lofa.
It's having you. Please go ahead, Chief.
Yes, I don't want to tell the CDC level they are bending all of their teams, their wicked and their baba teams in the country. Where if they any attempt, but testing honorable Yakakuba, because Yakakuba is our son, is our brother, is our uncle. Although he left the Monrovia, but he also from Lofa. If they may any attempt, then Lofa will be involved.
Thank you.
For free.
Thank you so much, Chief. Go ahead, Chief. Yeah.
Call on the line, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. This is David. I'm calling from Oslo in Norway.
Make your point.
Yeah, I want to just say when a city or a nation or country leaves go out of their function, they are bound to ruin. And that's why the Biya government is doing. And I see that when Biya took power, it came to my mind that this man who is not highly educated and has taken the highest office in this country will see people as threat, especially critical voices, people that will speak against him, or people that will be speaking the facts. He will want to honor he will go after them by killing them. And that's what happened in Liberia. Because people don't have any for human life. They don't respect the human life. So the best we can do as opposition members, we have to hold together and unite. And one thing Johnson said, Stephen said over there that I want to is we must also equip our people so that they don't kill us in God, because these guys are bloodthirsty. We are a demon, and his people that he have working with him, they all are the same people. They are agents of the devil. So God bless us to unite and to run the government that is efficient and we have respect for human life. I also say thanks to the councillor on the team.
All right. Call on the line, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I'm following the show. I'm calling from Iowa, Wallaby, and Buckeye, Aaron. Here, it is so sad as to how our country is moving, as to how our country is growing. And it's so worrisome. You follow that we begin to look at this at the living condition of the people. I don't know where the president has charged everybody. People are suffering and they say they are on the street. Some of them on the street supporting this demon called president. It is so sad. So let us all continue to fight, continue to make sure that we encourage our people. If any of them are listening to me now, let it go out there. Be patient enough. No matter what it is, be patient, be on the line. I know there will be harassment. I know there will be intimidation. But just bear the patient. Cry on the line until you get out for the registration card. If you want for your suffering to be over, you need to do it. If you want to establish the people work with patience, they are patient to make sure that you register the vote.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Caller on the line, go ahead.
Hello, this is Nepa Brian. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Yes, ma'am. Make your point.
Yeah, I just want to say to Councilor Berger and Mona on the show today that you guys have really, really opened up our world again, hearing all of these revelations. And I want to agree with my sister Mona because Liberia is under spiritual attack. And when you're talking to people, they think that it's funny, you know, because life itself is spiritual. Look at the accident that took place today. Our policemen even got burned to death. And people's heads and legs got cut off in that accident today. Talking to people, I was talking to one of my friends, and the rumors going around, what Mona just said that this man has so much, this President Weah has so much influence over his people. That I was talking to a very, very friend of mine and telling me that look at the news that coming up concerning former Councilor Scott's daughter. This woman murdered her own daughter. I have my mouth open, I was just listening to her, and like, do you actually believe this thing? Do you actually believe that a woman killed her daughter? So, and that's the news circulating all in Monrovia. So today I spoke to another person, and they came up, guess what? This woman killed her own daughter. What I think Councilor Brother was talking on the show, I was like, I don't want to hear this nonsense, man. So you think that this woman will kill her own daughter for which reason? So I just want to agree with Mona. This man has so much influence and is demonic. They are in a court, bloodthirsty people.
That's true.
So everything that says to these people, they believe it and they just circulate that lie. Look at how quick the lie has spread in Monrovia. A former Councilor Scott actually was the one that murdered her daughter. But I just want to, you know, we just need to pray for Liberia.
Amen.
We just need to pray, stop fighting and talking. We just need to be prayerful. But only God can come and deliver that country.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Let me take the last call off because you're from Liberia or before I'll come to you. Hello? You got to stop listening to yourself. You struggle to get on the line, so go ahead. Now you on the line from Liberia, you call him direct number and you let your unit wasting because you listen to yourself.
Hello. Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to say thank you.
So you listening to something? Yeah, listen to me. That thing you listening to the program, call that thing off and just pay attention to your phone.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just the fellow who called last week on the program for wounded legs, so the iron is broken in my legs, and I'm very going through a problem where a hospital in Liberia causes problem for me, and I've been running all around, calling all the radio stations asking for help. Now my body was infused with wrong blood in me, according to my medical report, and the iron that was injected in my legs and one in my back. I mean, the one in my legs has shoot up, and I can't just sleep. I lie down every night with X on my car to be able to quiet down the pain. So I will make this passion appeal, please. I need help. I need financial help.
Yeah, where is he?
In Liberia, you're calling direct.
No, what part of Liberia is he?
Where are you in Liberia?
I'm in Broadville. I was in Canada. I came to Broadville to see what I could find.
So let him go back to Canada. Let him go back to Canada and go to the hospital. And call off on that.
To just transport myself.
So which hospital put the iron in your foot?
GSK did the surgery on my legs, but I don't want to even go back to GSK. I got a lot of evidence that my leg was almost, dead dream. My bone was extracted, and my blood and my daughter were donated to be infused in me. That blood was taken away when they opened me up. I mean, I almost died. They ran all over for blood. They couldn't find a lady, ran from upstairs, went to the maternity ward, and she brought this blood. She said, just put it in before the people sometimes. The condition is critical. And I had that blood was infused in me. I don't want to say on this the kind of blood that is in me right now, according to my medical report. And I visited some team that came from America. A white lady told me that they don't have the machine to do that work here to see the blood for anybody. The surgical part, they could do it, but it had limited time. A lady from JFK turned me left and right one kind Kennedy. I gave almost 300 out of US, and she promised that they're going to help me to remove this iron. The time she mentioned, I got witness at the JFK. When I went there, the team was already going. She said, "Oh, I forgot. Let me go for lunch and come back." She never came back to me. I got human evidence.
Okay, so what we do, we put your number on our screen, and then people in Liberia will call you because they will be able to see you physically. We encourage people who want to help you, they will call you and they will see you. And once they see you and they're able to confirm, then it can have some attention from those of us who are out of the country. But people in the ground first got to interact with you. So I will we'll put your number up, people will take the number, people who are on the ground will take it and call you, and we'll start from there. Thank you. Be hopeful. Keep the faith. We'll start from there.
Yeah, just say number. We'll get somebody to verify it, bro.
Yeah. You both go ahead. Baron Jupo.
Please go ahead, caller.
Good evening. This is Cabinet Sufana, and I do join a conversation this evening from Clarendon. A member of CYM, and my goal is to make George a one-term Boca Denso.
Thank you, Chief. Go ahead.
Okay, big brother, I do hope and pray that as I see now, I do believe that Honorable Yeke Koluba is listening to me. No, big brother, let us be clear to the issue. What the civilians are doing in the country are not right? Those guys, they are a group of criminals. Those guys are a group of gangsters, and those guys are a group of armed robbers. The action from these guys should not be taken lightly. This go time at our intellectual forum, we have an intellectual forum in class called Renaissance Intellectual Forum. We invited one of our CDC officials by the name Maya Vite, the coordinator for NTA. He came and doing his discourse. In fact, all of what we call him to come and discuss on, he not discuss on anything but right off. He was accusing Honorable Baka, but we don't have problem with it. So after that, we decided to latch him by placing question and answer. Immediately as he finished speaking, those guys from the ghetto, those civilians who just we are raising from the ghettos, those guys came out in their numbers. They intimidated us to the higher level. In fact, there will be no question as far as they are concerned. All the one they say that you're believing or you're not believing, is water or rock. So I'm saying this to say, not only to the October 10 or during the time of campaign, those guys, if they think they are mischievous, no, this diplomacy business, we have to lay one side with the people at the end. They both they need that with the one speaking about all the people that both people. Because anything they do, we can say, oh, those people they are mischievous. They say, oh, that people they don't go. They stand around, they see where those doors, some people say, when they show up with one rat, not show them with blood. When they show up with raw one, not show them with a RPG. When they knock out with play, not knock them with wawa. Anything they do, that's not react to them. In fact, if it is possible, I want to give them a number to Honorable Koluba. I want to be a close friend to him. We just discover during the guest time of the campaign. Anything we can do, we also react. And our own reaction will be more than if possible, we attack their political leaders. Thank you for affording me the time.
Thank you so much. Please go ahead.
Hey, because we're giving 924.
Okay, on the program, please go ahead.
Okay,
okay, Chief. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
You're having a program, please go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. Let me say good evening to the panelists and
me to the Council of Jews, brother. Oh, this is Gorby Abu Meska, from District 6, Essex Kupavu. Let me appreciate this panel this afternoon, this evening for you on a discussion. But listen, you see, let me agree with my mother on the show. And she said it is time for Liberians to see the truth of George Maria, because if we was not, if this man was not coming to be president in this country, for Liberia to know that the kind of leadership dedicated this war is lack of today, that she is the of a country, in the of all looking at the trouble in this country, you see what the leaders have is strongly demoted, because everywhere they want to appear and go, you see people still defending him, but people have lost their life in the didn't draw on in the country. All of a sudden you see separate. It shows that this war is happening more. So all this kind of attack on Yeke, so now nobody spoke of it, even the police, nobody to see all the representatives. Yes. Thank you. For the people to see how best they join hands to mark our forces to support Honorable Yeke, because the campaign will go to, it is time for everyone to speak, because I strongly believe if you guys will not support Yeke, the campaign will be very, very much bloody. And we are not that.
Chief, thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Stand up with family.
Your time is up. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, my name is Jibo Brown, calling you from the community in Ghana to be precise.
Please go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, hi to the council of the for doing some of the things happening in our country. That's why I told some people, this is a never know the consequences of somebody who's acting. Somebody saying the man should go, you carry the court. And I told her, they do that as a joke. They will never know the consequence of giving somebody. And we are giving you instances of what is happening in our country. Then you guys think you should go to court. The men got no result of accusing Cody of killing somebody. They make them one. That's just the rhetoric. But I want to send to all of you guys for some of the things you guys are saying, enlightening our minds about the issue happening like this. But we say by tomorrow, I think we will die in trouble, but we will not give up. Any kind of way to speak it, I personally thought I escaped. I will end up, I to get the dying thing. I will not escape this country. We always say to the end, if it comes for the die, we will die. So I thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief from Bond County. Here, go ahead, Chief here.
Yes, go ahead.
This is Charles Lottie. I'm calling.
Talk. Raise your voice, please. You're not hearing.
I want to thank every one of you guys for the show tonight. I've been following, and it's my first time calling. But I really want to be blunt and straightforward with people. As far as I'm concerned right now, this election that's going on will be formality, to be honest. The opposition should be ready for what is to come after the election. I'm telling you, the decision will not relinquish power easily in that country. Looking at everything that have been happening, all the killing, and how they will be accountable for their actions, they will not relinquish power easily. So the opposition need to have a plan A, plan B, plan C, the plan before the plan, after the plan, everything. This is some serious stuff that I'm telling you. The Egyptian government will copy what is happening in Nigeria. They will grow the system, they will manipulate the system, they will rape, they will do anything. And if the opposition depend on the international community and ECOWAS to come to their rescue, I'm sorry, it won't happen. So my advice here, let's get ready for the fight. Thank you for the time.
All right.
Thank you.
Yellow man, my man, after you struggle to get on the line and you can't connect. Yeah. You got Jupo ready, like brother. You won't call Jupo, you call it international land. I'm giving you a hard time. And you can't connect. Yeah.
Yeah, Ali, let's take about 4 more calls and we call it a night.
DJ Lomel, you're not connecting. I okay the phone, but it's not connecting. So why not call Jupo direct instead of calling the WhatsApp that is not connecting and you stay calling? You're not connecting, you stay calling. All right, let me take somebody else because DJ Lomé is not ready. He can't connect. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hey, hi, how are you guys? My name is George and I come from New Jersey. And my concern is right. My message to the opposition is right. You guys can see what is happening right before your eyes. Right? You guys saw what happened in Nigeria. What happened in Nigeria to send a message to like Joseph Walker and Zana Cummings and whosoever that is in the opposition that like everything to the government have done. Those idiots not just gonna leave power like that because they will be held accountable later. Like this is the time Joseph Walker and Zana Cummings. Whosoever that is listening to me, I'm a Liberian American. I love Liberia. It's not useful. I love Liberia. Like even those, you know what I'm saying, I'm kind of ready to fight, like everything I've heard, but you know what? Never stay hopeful. Because good will always overcome evil. America has taught me. I've seen good have overcome evil. Darkness can never overcome the light. Whatsoever they are doing, there will be accountability. So the time for them to pay is not tomorrow. It's closure. So the opposition community needs to wake up. Because those people just reading, like whosoever that's in power, they're gonna do everything to secure power. So like, you know what I'm saying, as a Liberian American, I support the opposition, Jefferson County, these are numbers. We are listening. And I'm telling you, not just me that listening, right? Thousands of Liberian Americans. We will read our senators. We will read our representatives. Jefferson County don't need to come to America. We will come after you. I served the United States Army for 8 years. Just wait. Who's up there listening? We will come after you. We will do the right thing. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Let me take this one and see one next from the UK or so. Yeah, Koro on the line. Go ahead.
Good evening, Pierre, thank you for connecting me. My advice to our people in Liberia is that God will not come down and come fight for us. We have to stand for ourselves. They have to come out, let them put the fear behind them, and come out and register. And we in the diaspora, we need to call our people back home and tell them. Because we all know the kind of burden that all us since they make it to power. The kind of calling that we're receiving is too much. Let the people come out. If anyone then refuse and they go for CDC again, they will put money embargo on the people who must stop sending money to that country. We must tell them, if you don't vote right, next time you're being paid to power, we'll never send your money. They put away our poor cows because our poor two ladies, they say that it's someone else that they are my business. My family in America or in Europe, they'll send me money to get food to eat. We have to tell them. Me, some of my friends that used to send money to them, I stopped it not that because they were all cities here. I stopped supporting them because it makes no sense. Thank you, Pierre.
All right, so people go ahead.
Please go ahead, caller.
Thank you. My name is Stephen Don GP. I do join from Canton, Nima County.
Go ahead.
Let me say thanks to the councilor for the explanation and thanks to the as well. I think it's good for we opposition to come together in one picket. So what I want to say in short tonight is that GMP need to make it fast and see that the running because stand right now favor. All what just we are doing will be accountable after authority election. When we ensure war, the election can authority. Just when will be prosecuted. And we know that, the jack break in the country. So we are going to be forced and to, the police and register and get our task in hand. The revolution that will help us to remove the propaganda and get the claim.
Thank you so very kindly. Let me take this last person from my end. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello.
Please go ahead. You actually my last call for tonight.
And I'm Rufus, and I joined you from the borough of Nukutan. Tonight, the program is finished, and it was very much educated. You know, Mr. Bishop being a business country, but we are the young people who stand up for this country. First day of voter registration, I went registered in the Douala school there. And this regulation that I saw Fulani when register they have police and immigration there. The immigration did not even ask the children.
Hello. Diploma is calling. Should I take him?
Yeah.
Chief Lomé, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for let me say good evening and welcome to our panelist studio. This is okay. Let me say thank you very much and to our panel, especially to our sister that on the program. You know, Honorable Pia, today I did my registration. I think I even sent you my card. This thing here, we all had to come out and then go and take our card. I don't care how they left us to take our card. And when I to my sister, that this man, thank God, he has some person for the Liberian people to. So I'm not coming for what you done. The president, we have no message. But now, if all the president will call having breakfast or anything or whatever, this time, social media will take the photos because you have been called and warned on the thing that you are doing. And the people that in America that want to help Honorable Koloba with better screen and things, I think you need to do. Because now, they start threatening all the things. They call me and talk to me. I told them, I said, we already inside. Even if I showed up today, they already know that we are opposition. So my great God will be protected. Honorable Koloba, that we say that people will come to your district and register. And I want them that will go there to go register. Let it start. So today, I will now ask by any one of them who so that they say and put one Honorable Koloba on. And if he's one of the men, by the grace of God, God will protect him. God will protect us here to get out of the hands of these evil people. These guys are criminals. They are murderers. And everything America is doing now, people being on to the Senegal election, the guys want to rig the election. But by the grace of God, they will not rig the election. May God bless us and bless our country, bless Mama Nigeria and the entire family in this country. We give the people and they should leave us. Thank you very much for the program.
Thank you so very kindly for your points tonight. Thank you, Chief.
Okay, caller, go ahead quickly.
Okay, my name is Edward Bobo. I'm calling from Minnesota. I want to expect the first protest from the Liberian people on the day they are going to close the registration for the first section because so many people are going to be left out due to the number of people that they employ that are carrying on slow registration. So the day they close the registration, so many people will be left out and all these 6 counties protest will start all around and they have to extend the time because people will have to register and they are not responsible for not employing people that are not competent. And those, there were 6,000 people that apply. The way they should have fed people is by not knowing how to type. But they didn't do that. They just take people all around just to feel, see what is going on. So I'm predicting the first protest coming on the day the registration is going to close, that the day the Liberian will start protests simultaneously in those countries are forcing that. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. Let me see how to.
Yeah, okay, I'll take one more call to go. After.
Yeah. Let end it there, Stevie. I don't have to take it.
Thank you. Councillor, it's been a great show. It's good that you join us. Even though such a short notice. But I do admire the fact that you you took up time from your busy schedule to join us. It's been a great conversation. Your final thoughts before we wrap up.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And Mona, it was a pleasure meeting you. And I admire your your contributions as well. These gentlemen, I have interacted with them in so many different ways, many years going back. So I was really honored to share the platform with you. We want to thank God for the opportunity that we all as librarians could gather together and discuss our common problems. If the Americans can take stealing the elections to be serious and warn these criminals about it, what about ourselves? I think we should be very vigilant, Liberian people, to protect the vote. We should not compromise or accept stolen elections. The process to steal the election is well advanced. It started more than 3 years ago, and it has continued up to where we are. It's in its final stages. The Supreme Court told the Elections Commission to clean up the voters' roll. To date, they haven't done it. The guy who was in the database center and responsible for all of the manipulation and cheating, he has declared at the Elections Commission that his primary responsibility at the Elections Commission is to make George Weah a second-term president. After he said that over and over, there are witnesses at the very Elections Commission, he was elevated to a commissioner with oversight of the database. And now we are hearing about electronic, biometric, and all of those confusing processes. And the Elections Commission seems to be rushing us into a hurry, bus traffic something. If they knew they wanted to do biometric, they should have started the process 2 years ago or more. Prepare an initial database. Now they have destroyed or taken from the website all the previous databases. So they have nothing to start from. They are starting afresh. We don't know where all the other voters are coming from to be registered. They started a citizen ID card process, and it was just abruptly halted. We don't know whether it was meant to register ghost people or it was meant to register foreigners. We don't know how many persons were registered. We don't know where it is. So that's where we are. It is very, very clear that their government has become unpopular and the people will not vote them. And to make sure they stay in power, they have brought in enough arms into the country. And they have given up the arms to the ex-combatants who have been rearmed. Those ex-combatants started their work ever since 3 years ago, or 2 years, I don't remember the specific date, but Maggie called all of them to come. And they gathered at their headquarters in their vehicles that government gave them an office, and they called on Yeke Koruba. They said they were summoning Yeke Koruba to come to their office to answer them. From that time, those guys have been distributed all around the place, and they are armed. At the moment, as we speak, there are 32 of them at the City Hall alone, all ex-generals. And you know, during the war, when you are a general, it means that you are a killer.
Mm-hmm.
They have them there. So this is all part of their plans to steal the elections, to intimidate people, to suppress voting, so that people do not freely participate in the process. It's regrettable, but this is what we have to agitate against. This is what we have to resist. That's why I'm saying Liberian people should be very, very vigilant. We thank God for preserving the state. We thank God for preserving our lives. We thank God for preserving the country. And we pray that God will be with us so that we can have a successful elections comes October 2023. Stephen, you conducted very well. I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
To Paul, you have been great at doing what you do. And my brother Pia, thank you so very much. And I was honored again to share the stage with you all and with Mona. Mona, thank you very much. Tupo, my wife reminded me, she said I should tell you how she admires you very much. She said you're always changing your shades. And, you are very and your language is very cute. You speak very well. And you're on top of the issues. Your analysis are good. She said I should she reminded me to let you know that she admires your work. So thank you guys. I was honored to be here.
Thank you, Councilor Fredia. You know, we'll be knocking on your doors again anytime soon. To
Yes,
come
sir.
back here, make this play your home. You're welcome
Amen.
anytime you have issue you want to talk
Definitely.
about. Just shoot me a text,
Okay.
and of course we'll be glad to bring you on.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys very much.
Thank you, Councilor. Thank you.
Bye bye.
So there you heard the voice of Councilor Jerome Fredia. He joined us. We had a great conversation. I think it was wonderful. You all. The calls and everything. So let's wrap up. Let's begin with Jupor, then Mona, and then Pia will take us on. Jupor.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to everyone, and I'm actually honored. And thanks to Councilor Verde as well. And it was a pleasure sharing the platform with him today. I'm deeply honored. And thanks to everyone again. And so I will actually probably over the week I'll try to maybe go in town, and maybe if I get a chance I'll reach to the guy and see.
Yeah, we'll talk behind the scene. Okay, all right, Mona.
Yeah, I just want to encourage our voters, those who are going to register, let them go and register, and make sure you get your card, your registration card. Don't give up. We are in this fight to win. We are not in it to give up or lose. We are in it to win it. And another thing is they have this fear tactics that they are using against us with all these arms around. These are not just ordinary people. These are not just ordinary or corrupt people that we are dealing with. These are bloodthirsty demons. And I want to say that bloodthirsty demons are always overcome. We have greater power within us who trust in Christ Jesus. We have, the Bible says, greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. So we can overcome these demons. All we need to do is not to be afraid. We need to stand up and believe in whom we have as our Lord, and go against whatever they are doing. But what the first thing we can do is to go and get registered. And with this, I will have to stand and I want to pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you, Mona. Thank you. Pia, take us on.
Not much to say at this point, but to just encourage our people. If you follow these conversations and you get the story about your country, you know why you want your country to be for yourself, for yourselves, your children, your children's children, generation a yet unborn. It's not what you want to see of your country. If you also reflect that we had nearly 2 decades of war that took the lives of 250,000 plus people, you don't want your leaders doing those things that led us to war yesterday. Because those who experience the war, those who know what war is, they don't wish to experience war anymore. But we're behaving as though there's an incentive for those who fought the war, and who left all of the rules of the war, the laws of war, killed innocent people, no accountability. Today, these people are back. You have a government that has recruited them. They are on the sidelines as militia. They are part of the security forces. They're infusing them into the security forces, well-known killers and murderers. That's the country you have. Can you do something about it? Yes. Do I want to encourage you to go protest as a means of doing something about it? No. You got one protest. Register now to vote as the registrations are taking place. And after you do so, be committed to vote. That's the power. It is that power that can take these people away from our back. We, among ourselves, people will make all the allegations, people say, oh, it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. And you see the Americans, the greatest country on earth, they come and issue their human rights report and repeat the same thing that are already known to us. For those of us who have made it our duty to be taking on a regime, we're not doing so because we think it's an easy task. We are aware that we are targeted. The only reason why we're okay now is because we're not on the grounds in the country. But we see all the killings that have taken place in the country. Intimidating people. The last time Mo was here before he stopped coming, there was threat on his life. Whether that is influencing whatever his approaches are currently to the show, we don't know. But even if that was the case, you can't blame him. Because he got kids, he got young children to take care of. He got to preserve himself to be around to be able to take care of those kids. So we know that there are great risk, great danger to those of us who dare to be critical about the things that are happening in our country. We are speaking out. We know, for example, if we're available, we could be targets. We got to be struggling and taking tactics here and there to be protected. But we wouldn't be discouraged because of that. In a country where arms are just all over. That's never happened since the war. Everywhere, guns. As though the country is cursed. Look at the kind of catastrophe that took place today. Watching that thing. Seeing people die like that, seeing people burning to death. A cross nation, perhaps. All the demons that people are dealing with, they demand blood. They will always instigate a lot of things just to get blood. That's what happens when Satan reigns in the land. We must commit ourselves to democratically rescue the country. Because if we don't do so, we'll not recognize the thing we call country in the next 6 years to come. It was good to have Veda. It was good to have Yeke. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Yeke to the end, all the internet challenges. But Yeke is one person who has been harassed by this administration from day one. And you see they're still targeting him. You won't carry people in his district to register to vote. And you realize that he's standing up. So you're sending talks to his house as a way of thinking that you can intimidate him. But like you heard Yeke saying, he's determined. They're not going to take strangers in his district to be the ones who make the decision. People who live in District 10 are the ones who register and they will vote. Yeke and his team, they are making sure that they protect that democratic right that belongs to the people of District 10 and nobody else. And we know this has angered the government. So they try to go after him like they've done all throughout the time. That they didn't even have the conscience to attack a young baby, taking away the baby formula that the baby is supposed to eat. That's a sacrifice the likes of Yeke and others are making. Make yours. We ask you to protest. Your only sacrifice could just be commit yourself to go register and then be committed to voting. Because it's the only way we can change what is going on in our country. Thank you. It's been a great show.
Thank you, Pia. The voice of Pia earlier, you heard the voices of Mona, Ahmed Barry, and Jupor. We have today as guests Honorable Yeke Koluba and, of course, Councillor Jerome Verdier. On that note, this is your class. As we always, this has been a great show. I'd like to say thanks to our radio station. That's Bourgeois Radio FM 98.1, Premier FM 98.1, Radio Dupa FM 89.1, Voice of Lofa FM 99.3, Radio Joy Africa FM 97.5, Voice of Compa FM 106.5. I'd like to say thanks to all of our callers, our contributors, all those who made comments, participated by sharing the show and staying all through the end. I'd like to say thanks to all of you. It's been a great show. I'd like to say thanks to all of our supporters out there. Let's make this happen. We can together transform Liberia. Liberia is at a crossroad. This has been a great show. I'd like to say thanks to you all for joining. I've been your host, as always, your humble servant, Stephen Johnson, saying so long. Do have a wonderful rest of the evening. God bless you all. And we'll see you, God's willing, on Friday for the weekend edition of the program, The Class Reloaded. Guys, it's been a great show. Thanks to you all. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you all, and so long. Bye-bye.
It's all in the game. It's all in the game. Here, there, and everywhere. Here, there, and everywhere. The people keep on crying. The people just keep on crying. It's not fair. And we going nowhere. Nowhere. All the big people. Nowhere. It's all in the game. It's all in the game. Here, there, and everywhere. Here, there, and everywhere. The people keep on crying. The people just keep on crying. It's not fair. And we going nowhere. Nowhere. All the big people. It's all